Good evening. My name is Blaine Harold, and I'll be giving you a presentation over CCTV, also known as video surveillance. Throughout this presentation, we'll be discussing the different types of cameras and the different types of DVRs and NVRs, which are digital video recorders and network video recorders.
CCTV, video surveillance, the types of camera systems. First off, let's discuss what is CCTV. CCTV stands for closed circuit television. Closed circuit television is also known as video surveillance. CCTV is made up of cameras, digital video recorders, or network video recorders, television screens, or monitors, and can be interfaced with routers and switching, which make up local and wide area networks. You may have seen cameras pretty much installed everywhere, whether it be on the highway, on a place of business, on the roads, on a home. They're constantly being installed, and security is constantly being beefed up based on crimes, violence, etc., etc. The whole purpose of a security camera is to keep your safety in mind. We want to keep you as safe as possible and give you that sense of security that you deserve. Let's talk about a specific style of camera system. In this case, we're going to talk about an IP camera system. With an IP camera system, we're looking for a few things here and there. First off, you need the camera. Once you have the camera, you're going to need a video management server, which would either be a digital video recorder or a network video recorder. You're going to need to interface that digital video recorder / network video recorder to your existing network, which would be, in this case, your switch, your router, however you've got your setup, in order to get access to the outside world. So you can view things remotely once the camera system's set up, and then once that's completed, you're going to make sure you can view your cameras internally. Now that we've talked a little bit about camera systems and about the different types of camera systems that there are, more specifically the IP camera system style, I'm going to take you through a tutorial in setting one up very simply. We're just going to simulate as if we were setting it up on a house, a place of business, or wherever you have in mind. So right now, let's go through that setup. Now, before we get started with our installation of an IP camera system, we have to make sure we have a few things. In this case, we have to ensure that we have the right cable that we're going to need. Cat5, Cat6 standard network cable when you're setting up IP camera systems. Next, you have to ensure that you have the cameras present. In this case, once again, it's an IP style camera. Once we have the camera, we need either a digital video recorder or a network video recorder in order to set that camera up on properly. Once we have that, we need a switch. We're going to interface our network video recorder, our digital video recorder with our switch. The cameras are all going to plug into the switch via the network cable, and everything's going to interface into the DVR over a local area network. Once we have that in place, we're going to have our router in place. Now, on our router, we need this because we need to set up port forwarding, and we need to make sure that our network is not accessible from the outside world unless we want them to have access.
When installing a camera system, especially an IP camera system, first, you got to run your cabling for your cameras. You got to decide where you want them on the outside of your house, your place of business, and in this case, I'm running Cat5 cabling through an addict. And where I'm going to run this is to my switch. My network video recorder or my DVR, NVR, is going to be attached to that switch. And that switch is going to have a connection going to the router, and the router is going to have a connection going right into the modem provided by the internet service provider. And if you're going to get an IP camera system, you need to get IP cameras. This here is a Dahua brand IP camera. This does 720p resolution. It's really easy to configure. We're going to go ahead and unbox it, and we're going to install it up on the side of the house here. We've got the ladder already set up. You've already seen that we routed our cable inside, and I'll show you what it looks like inside after this. What we have here is a Tribrid DVR. Now this DVR will do 3 styles of cameras. It will do analog, which you see the analog ports here. It will do HDCVI cameras, which will plug into each one of these ports as well, due to the fact that HDCVI and analog cameras use the same type of cabling and the same type of BNC connectors, which BNC connectors connect onto each one of these terminals here. All right, when we're referring to IP style cameras, we'll have to network this, and our IP cameras will be connected to our switch, in which this will also be connected to our switch, and we'll be able to remotely add those cameras. Once we've made all the correct connections from our DVR to our switch, from our camera to our switch, and we've connected everything properly, the next thing to do is come back to our DVR and to add the camera. As I was speaking, as long as the camera is linked to the switch and the DVR is linked to the switch, the DVR will see that camera. First things first, we have to log into our DVR. We have to go to our main menu, and of course we have to log in with the correct credentials. And once we've logged in, we come to a home screen, which is our main menu. Down in the bottom left of the screen, we're going to select the camera emblem. In this case, we're going to select remote device because we're trying to add this camera remotely. And we're going to select IP search. It's going to take a second, but it's going to find that camera due to the fact that that camera and this DVR are both connected to the same network. So all we do now is check the box next to the IP address of the camera we wish to add, and we're going to select add. Once we select add, the camera will pop up down here in the box and display. It'll take a second, and then the status will green up as the camera is online. Now before we exit out of this menu, we're always going to select apply, and then we select OK. There are a few settings that might need to be changed on the camera. So in this case, we're going to go back to the main menu. We're going to go back to camera, and this time on the left side we're going to select encode. Once in this menu, we're going to select what channel our camera was on. In this case it was on channel 7. And we're going to check out the settings. It's got the type, the compression, the resolution. In this case we want to change it to the highest resolution, which is 1.3M in this case. So it's not quite 1080 on this camera, but it's not as low as 720 neither. As far as the substream, you just want to make sure your frame rates are set low. It's more of a secondary viewing of the camera in case you're remoting in so your connection doesn't lag. Of course, once we made changes and we got all the configurations correct here, we want to go ahead and save those configurations. We're always going to hit apply, then save. Now that we've finished programming and setting up our camera, we can see a clear picture of our camera on the screen now.
In conclusion, we've gone over IP camera systems. We understand that there's different types of camera systems such as analog, HDCVI, SDI, IP camera systems. We understand that there's different types of network video recorders, digital video recorders, just everything that goes into this whole CCTV thing. And there's a lot of technicals behind it as far as configurations go, setting up resolutions of cameras, setting up the recordings of everything, doing the playback of video. There's a lot that goes into it. Overall, the key point here is that CCTV, aka video surveillance, it keeps you safe. It gives you a peace of mind and an extra sense of security. And it's a very good technology to have. Hopefully you enjoyed this presentation as much as I did. Thank you for your time.